Ready? You're fine. We're good. We're gonna get there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our May 5th council meeting. Our first order of business is a call to order and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. So please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 2 on the agenda is the reading of our sunshine statement and roll call by our municipal clerk, Mrs. Lauren Statz.
This meeting of the Dunellen Borough Council is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This law of May 5th, 2025 was included in a list of meetings that was advertised in the Courier on January 9th, 2025, and as a teleconference was noticed on the official Dunellen website on April 30th, 2025, and on the public bulletin board on North Avenue on April 30th, 2025, and has remained continuously posted as a required notice. Mayor Salento,
Present.
Council President Sigmund,
Here.
Mrs. Albertson,
Here.
Mrs. Lance,
Here.
Mrs. Rios,
Here.
Mr. Scott,
Here.
and Mr. Vandermark, noted absent.
Okay. Item number 3 on the agenda is proclamation. We have 4 this evening. Our first one is recognizing the National Police Week in 2025, March. Number 2 is recognizing May as Military Appreciation Month. Number 3 is declaring the month of May as Mental Health Month. And number 4, recognizing the significance of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So first on our proclamation list is recognizing National Police Week 2025 in the borough of Dunellen. We have some of the police officers here this evening. So that's the wrong one. Okay. Recognizing National Police Week 2025 in the borough of Dunellen. Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Dunellen Police Department. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently 26,950 law enforcement officers in the United States who have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty, including 2 members of the Dunellen Police Department, Petroleum William Shields and Chief Patrick Tarpey. And whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation declaring the week of May 15th National Police Week. And since then, tens of thousands of police officers and their families, including Dunellen, New Jersey, travel to Washington, D.C. every year to celebrate law enforcement and pay tribute to their fallen brothers and sisters. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. We also have a memorial in the borough of Dunellen. And whereas 345 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 148 officers killed in 2024 and 197 officers who died in previous years. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and the U.S. flag should be flown at half staff. We've informed DPW. Perfect. And whereas the Dunellen Police Department, formerly organized in August of 1924, so we're coming up on 101 years, has served the residents for over 100 years and has seen the tenure of 14 chiefs of police and many more patrol officers, protecting and serving the community to keep the peace, protect life and property, and serve all those who call the Miracle Mile home. And whereas on Monday, May 26, 2025, the Borough of Dunellen and the Dunellen Police Department will honor their fallen heroes with a ceremony at Washington Memorial Park in observance of Memorial Day. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Jason F. Salento, Mayor of the Borough of Dunellen, New Jersey, declare that all in the Borough of Dunellen observe May 11th to the 17th, 2025 as National Police Week, and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. Proclaim this 5th day of May, 2025 underneath my signature. Gentlemen, thank you for your service and protection of our great borough, and the state as well. So thank you. And I believe there's going to be a bit of a more formal presentation with the chief, captain, and the force in the coming days. So thank you. Next up is number 2, recognizing May as Military Appreciation Month. Does a council member want to volunteer and read this? Okay, do you have it on you on the digital?
Got it. So, whereas in 1999, the United States Congress passed a resolution proclaiming May as National Military Appreciation Month, encouraging all Americans to remember all those who gave their lives in defense of our freedom, and to honor all the men and women who served and are serving our country today, along with the families of these service members for their sacrifices in our armed forces. And whereas the month of May was chosen because it has many individual days marked to acknowledge our military's achievements, including Loyalty Day, established in 1921, Victory in Europe Day, commemorating the end of World War II in Europe in 1945, and Children of Fallen Patriots Day. May also includes Military Spouse Appreciation Day, Armed Forces Day, and before ending the month, we pause to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice on Memorial Day. And whereas during Military Appreciation Month, we are reminded that the freedom and security that the citizens of the United States are afforded today are a direct result of the sacrifices made and continued vigilance demonstrated by our United States Armed Forces over the history of this great nation. And whereas the observance of is the perfect opportunity to show thanks and express gratitude to those who have previously served or are currently serving in the U.S. military and their families. And whereas many men and women from our community have served in the United States Armed Forces, and their service and sacrifice have made our community and the United States and the world more secure by preserving liberties that have enriched our community and nation, making it the greatest nation in the world. And whereas our Dunellen American Legion Post 119 and Tri-Borough Memorial Veterans of Foreign Wars VFW Post 5479 are comprised of active members who support and are dedicated to serving the Borough of Dunellen and surrounding communities. And whereas these organizations are committed to enhancing the well-being of America's veterans, their families, our military, and our communities by their devotion to mutual helpfulness, making certain that our local veterans organizations pay perpetual respect for all past military sacrifices to ensure they are never forgotten by new generations. Now, therefore, Mayor Jason F. Salento and members of the Dunellen Borough Council do hereby proclaim that May 2025 will be recognized as Military Appreciation Month. Residents are encouraged to recognize and honor the valor of our veterans and the sacrifices made by our United States Armed Forces members currently serving and their families to preserve the freedoms we enjoy today and tomorrow.
Thank you, Council President, and I hope everyone will join us at our May 26th Memorial Day parade and ceremony. But let's give a round of applause for those men and women who have served. Next is a proclamation declaring the month of May as Mental Health Month to recognize the issue and stigma, push away the stigma of mental health. And Councilwoman Trina Rios will take the honor of reading the proclamation.
Whereas there is a proven connection between good mental health and overall personal health. And whereas mental health illness affects almost every family in the world. And whereas people with mental illnesses often recover if given the necessary services and supports in their community. And whereas people with mental illnesses make important contributions to our families and our communities. And whereas millions of adults and children are disabled by mental illnesses every day. And whereas only 1 out of 2 people with a serious form of mental illness seeks treatment for his or her mental illness. And whereas stigma and fear of discrimination keep many who would benefit from mental health services from seeking help. And whereas research shows that the most effective way to reduce stigma is through personal contact with somebody with a mental illness. And whereas good mental health is critical to the well-being of our family, communities, schools, and businesses. And whereas greater public awareness about mental illness can change negative attitudes and behaviors towards people with mental illnesses. Now, therefore, Jason F. Salento, on behalf of the Borough of Dunellen, New Jersey, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2025 as Mental Health Month. As the mayor, he also calls upon the Dunellen citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to recommit our community to increasing awareness, understanding of mental illnesses, reducing stigma and discrimination, and promoting appropriate and accessible services to all people with mental illnesses.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Next is a proclamation recognizing the significance of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which will be read by Councilwoman Terry Alberts.
Thank you. I read this in honor of my granddaughter, Sky, who was born in the Hunan province in 2009 and came to the United States and was adopted by my daughter and son-in-law in 2009. Recognizing the significance of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is as an important time to celebrate the significant contributions of the Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders to the history of the United States. Whereas the people of the United States join together each May to pay tribute to the contributions of generations of Asian American, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders who have enriched the history of the United States. And whereas the history of the United States, the history of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders in the United States is inextricably tied to the story of the United States. And whereas the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander community is an inherently diverse population composed of more than 45 distinct ethnicities and more than 100 language dialects. And whereas the month of May was selected for Asian Pacific American Heritage Month because the first Japanese immigrants arrived in the United States on May 7th, 1843, and the first transcontinental railroad was completed on May 10th, 1869 with, and I can't get this to scroll down, here we go. Substantial contributions from Chinese immigrants, and whereas the theme for the observance of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in May 2025 is a legacy of leadership and resilience. And whereas the theme was selected by the Federal Asian Pacific American Council, which is celebrating 4 decades of service to the AANHPI community in 2025. This year's theme honors the hard work of AANHPI leaders who established a foundation for future generations to thrive and adapt to change and adversity. Just lost first.
We'll give it a hard copy.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Now, therefore, be it Proclaimed by the Mayor and Council of Borough of Dunellen that in the month of May, we recognize the history, achievements, and diversity of Asian American, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders, and further acknowledge the substantial contribution to the American experience brought by our Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander community. Proclaimed this 5th day of May, 2025 by Jason F. Salento, Mayor, Borough of Dunellen.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman. Next up is item number 4 on the agenda, approval of our meeting minutes, our regular meeting of April 21st, 2025. Can I have a motion and second, please?
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Rios.
Okay, any comments, edits, redactions? As the meeting minutes currently stand from April 21st. Without hearing any, please take a roll call.
Mrs. Albertson,
Yes.
Mrs. Lance,
Yes.
Mrs. Rios.
Yes.
Mr. Scott
Yes.
and Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
Item number 5 on the agenda is an introduction of an ordinance. This evening, we have 2025-12, an ordinance to add a new chapter 39 municipal flag lowering policy to part 1 of administrative legislation of the Borough Code. Can I have a motion and second, please?
Move it, Rios.
Second, Albertson.
Can I just have a summary of this by Mr. Miller, who was active with Mrs. Stats and Mr. Robertson, just so the public is aware before we take a roll call?
So it came to our attention that, we had no flag ordinance here. And over the past year, unfortunately, we lost some key members of the community that worked, whether they worked or mayor or in a staff for the borough. So I brought it to Lauren's attention and Bill's, and we've been working on putting this together, so we have some kind of guide to go by, because it's a long time coming, we needed to do this.
Okay. Thank you. It's just an introduced ordinance. This will just be introduced by roll call in second and then a roll call. And then at the next council meeting, there'll be a public hearing and potential adoption. So.
We did.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Albertson,
Yes.
Mrs. Lance,
Yes.
Mrs. Rios.
Yes.
Mr. Scott
Yes.
and Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
And it was, as with all introduced ordinances, they will be found online and at the municipal clerk's office, should anybody wish to read them next council meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Item number 6 on the agenda is our budget. We have 2 resolutions related to it. First up is resolution authorizing the calendar year 2024 municipal budget to be read by title only, which is resolution 199. Can I have a motion and second?
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Albertson.
Mr. Robertson?
Yep.
Mr. Mayor and council, just to reiterate, this is a matter that's been discussed in more detail at earlier meetings involving the introduction of the budget due to the absence of Councilman Vandermark and the budget law that requires a majority of the full governing body membership. Four votes are required in order to move budget adoption forward. I have been asked to review the circumstances and in my opinion, this situation, which would be governed by the doctrine of necessity, which in situations of pressing need and no alternative form and an inability to actually move something forward requires the participation of the council member who might have a potential conflict. In this particular case, Councilwoman Rios is a member of the fire department, an active member. She has no leadership role and no involvement in the budget. So it's there's no financial or personal interest in any way. So whatever involved is so attenuated and so minimal. In my opinion, that this is a situation that calls for and specifically authorizes Councilwoman Rios to vote on the budget matters. If anybody has any questions, I'm comfortable that this is entirely appropriate situation.
Okay. There's no further discussion by council. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Albertson,
Yes.
Mrs. Lance,
Yes.
Mrs. Rios.
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Abstain from my position in the fire department.
and Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
Okay, item number two, under agenda item 6 for the budget is public hearing on the calendar year 2025 municipal budget resolution 05/05/2025, number 200. Can I have a motion and second?
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Lance.
Mr. Robertson? Okay. We're opening the floor to members of the public. Please state your name and address. If you have any questions on the budget that was presented two meetings ago.
Yes.
What was the budget?
What's the,
Dave Morgan, 805 Front Street. I wasn't here a couple meetings ago. What was the budget for 2025?
the budget for 2025? If you give me a second, Mr. Olson, if you don't know it off the top of your head. Okay, perfect.
The total budget is $11,043,715. The raise is $6,390,045 in tax.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You indicated what the potential impact per average household was? Isn't it like $46?
It was $46 if the assessment remained the same from the prior year.
Okay, understood. Okey doke. Any other members of the public? Without hearing any? Council, before we go to vote?
No.
Good work to the finance committee and the administrative team on getting a responsible and fiscally sound budget put together. So good work, everyone. Can we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Abstain position in the fire department.
and Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
Item number 7 on the agenda is resolutions. We have resolutions 201 to 204. Mrs. Stats, if you can read them out and then give us opportunity to discuss if we need to.
Resolution 201 is to pay the bills.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Albertson.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
and Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
You were excited to pay the bills there, Mrs. Rios.
Resolution 202 is calling for the restoration of energy taxes to municipalities.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Rios?
So as we noted in the budget presentation, and I think Mr. Olson did a really good, thorough explanation of the history of the energy tax receipts and what they historically called the poison pill when it was basically taken from us. It was referenced in the presentation where we're getting around $600,000 in municipal aid, but if had we been receiving the energy tax receipts, we would have been over $1 million these past several years. So the state year over year, with the exception of, I want to say last year and the year before, where I believe it was 75 million statewide and then 150 million throughout the entire state. There, again, in this budget that the governor has proposed is they're not proposing anything. So there's various organizations such as the League of Municipalities and the Conference of Mayors that are, through their organizations, fighting the legislature and the governor's office to get back funding. And so that's what this resolution does. It shows on a municipal level, multiple municipalities are actually, I was on a meeting this morning, passing it this evening. Basically sending this off with a letter to, and ours will explain how much money the borough has been losing, has been withheld from, to encourage the legislature as they go through budget discussions before July to incorporate some kind of funding. There's no guarantee, but we need to put fire to their feet, and this is one of the ways that we have within our means to formally do that across the state. So that's what this resolution does. It calls in support of reinstating some level of funding. And then, of course, like I'll say through the Conference of Mayors, we're looking to work with the legislature to come up with a plan to incrementally get us back to full funding. So that's what this resolution is for.
I'll take a roll. Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
yes,
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
And Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
Resolution number 203 is to appoint fire department members.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Albertson.
Well, I just want to note to Mr. Rios, right? That's, I don't have the resolution up right in front of me that is being appointed. Yes, Mr. Rios, and Connor Costa. Just to extend a thank you for them stepping up to the plate and volunteering for the fire department. They're brave young men and we thank them for it, and we encourage more people to participate and volunteer as a firefighter, men and women. So thank you for your service, gentlemen, and we wish you all the best and good health and safety in your service and protection of the Borough of Dunellen.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Abstain due to my position on the fire department.
Mr. Scott?
Abstain position in the fire department.
And Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
Resolution 204 is to hire Erica Trojanowski as Deputy Court Administrator.
Move it, Rios,
Second, Sigmund.
Okay, Mr. Miller, I'll let you speak on this. As we know, Denise Donato moved up to a court administrator, so we need to have get a deputy court in, and Erica was interviewed, and so I'll let Mr. Miller speak on her behalf as a candidate.
Yes, Mayor. Erica was one of multiple candidates that we interviewed. And in the interview process was myself, the clerk Lauren Stats, Denise Donato, Judge Howes, and Laura Schweitzer from the Middlesex County Courts. After interviewing all the candidates, we came up with Erica. It was the best fit for the borough. Erica was a violation clerk for 2 years and then a deputy this past year. So I think it would be a good position hire for the courts.
Okay.
Take a roll. Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes,
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
And Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 8 on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have resolutions 205 through 210. Council, if there's any of the resolutions you would like to be pulled for a specific conversation, please let us know now. If not, we'll vote as a consent agenda. Okay, without hearing any, can I get a motion and second on the consent agenda
move it, Rios,
Second, Sigmund.
and a roll call?
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
And Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Up next is item number 9, council reports. Councilwoman Albertson.
The fire department has responded to 26 calls in service for April. The total calls for 2025 is 130 to date. They had 4 hazmat calls, 14 false alarms, 4 good intent, 1 EMS, 3 service calls, for a monthly total of 26. They, in addition to the emergency responses, they have attended a lot of different drills and events, including on 4/13, they went to the attended the recreation Easter egg hunt. On 4/14, they held their monthly officers meeting and work drill service. 4/16, they attended a hazmat drill at our firehouse conducted by Middlesex County Hazmat. 4/23, they attended the mayor's volunteer town hall. 4/27, they held their annual firefighter memorial service. 4/30, they held their monthly fire company meeting. They're happy to see a number of residents continue to join the department in the past few months. The new members will be attending fire school in the upcoming months. The fire department is still looking for new members, and you can be a junior member if you're 16 to 18 or a full member if you're over 18. Visit their website, www.dunellenfd.com, or email joindfd, excuse me, at dunellenfd.com. The Friends of the Dunellen Public Library have their murder mystery dinner on Saturday, May 10th at the George W. Hodgelick Firehouse. Enjoy delicious food as you help solve the murder of a gangster. There will be raffle baskets and a 50-50. All proceeds help the Friends support the Dunellen Public Library. Follow us on our Facebook page and Instagram. The Friends Open Air Market begins on May 18th, as we were rained out yesterday, at Washington Memorial Park. It will be first and third Mondays from May until October, so please come and enjoy the market. Thank you.
Yes. Buildings and Ground Report. Dunellen proudly continues its tradition of honoring the brave men and women who have served our country. The DPW has begun installing the Hometown Hero banners downtown, with completion expected to be at the end of this week. Once finished, the DPW will follow up with the installation of the American flags. Additionally, DPW has installed 2 more block trim planters, one at Washington Memorial Park and another at the Fire Department and Rescue Squad monuments, further enhancing these important community spaces. Parsa report. Comcast recently caused damage to a section of the sewer main near Klein Place. Parsa supervised the repair process to ensure it was completed properly and met all necessary standards. Board of Ed update. Spring sports are underway with both softball and baseball season in full swing. Upcoming events are May 7th, Bike to School Day, as well as the Faber School Band and Choir Concert. May 9th is the Dunellen High School Dunellies. The next Board of Ed meeting will be held on May 20th. Be sure to visit Dunellen Public Library Facebook page and website to explore all our exciting upcoming programs and events. And I just want to say that I'm really proud of my son Jackson for pursuing a career as a firefighter. And on that note, happy International Fighter Month.
Councilwoman Lance?
Sure, for recreation, all recreation spring sports are in full swing, including tennis, soccer, baseball, and softball. The Recreation Department is sincerely grateful to our coaches for their hard work and commitment. We are still seeking coaches for open soccer at the pre-K and K level, with practices scheduled for Wednesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. If you're interested in coaching, please reach out to the Recreation Department Coordinator, Kelly Cedar, at kcedar@dunellenborough.com. We're also pleased to share that 9 additional banners have been added to our display of hometown heroes this spring, bringing our total to 119 banners. Thanks to the DPW, these banners were hung last week just in time for our upcoming Memorial Day Parade. And speaking of the Memorial Day Parade, it is set for May 26th at 10 a.m. If you would like to participate in the parade or have a float, please contact Recreation Program Coordinator Kelly Cedar again at kcedar@dunellenborough.com. We look forward to gathering together to honor those who have served. And finally, registration for Dunellen Summer Camp is now open. If you're interested, please visit the Recreation website to sign up. The camp is designed for children aged 5 to 12 years and runs from June 16th to August 15th. This 9-week camp is filled with lots of fun, including field trips, daily outdoor and indoor activities, and water games. Register today as spots are filling up fast. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. Council President Sigmund?
No report tonight.
Not even an encouraging message.
I could give an encouraging message out there for the coaches again. Although I am not currently coaching in the soccer season because my kids are not playing soccer, it is a great opportunity for volunteers to meet other families and make new friends. I know personally we have made new family friends by coaching. So it's more than just coaching, it's getting involved in your community and meeting new people out there.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Scott?
Quick DPW report. They continue continue to routinely clean the downtown area, the parks and properties. Started the weekly and lawn and landscape for borough parks and properties, maintain the ball fields. Continue to inspect and clean out the catch basins throughout the borough, and they've completed about 90% of all the basins. Started the installation of the Hometown Heroes banners downtown, added mulch to the parks and playgrounds, cleaned out the trash trap. Continue to pick up bags and branches around town, and a reminder that May is the last month for leaf bag pickup. Maintaining the street sweep schedule, and the street sweeper is currently being serviced. Mechanics Division report, they service the police fleet vehicles as they come due for maintenance or breakdowns, service the DBW fleet as they come due for service and breakdowns. Working on installing a new motor in one of the police cars, installing a water tank in one of the Mason dump trucks to water the new trees, and they've serviced the lawn equipment. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. For my report this evening, I'd like to wish a happy Teacher Appreciation Week to all our educators. Teachers shape the lives of countless students, and their passion, patience, and commitment to the next generation are truly commendable. And we're grateful for all our teachers in the Dunellen community and beyond. And we have two teachers here this evening. One is Councilwoman Chris Saul, Eddie's Lance, and Councilwoman Albertson had a many-year career at Dunellen High School as a educator. So thank you both for your service and the greater community at large that is in the education field. Greenbrook cleanup this Saturday, May 10th. Dunellen will be participating in an annual multi-town cleanup of the Greenbrook by McCoy Park from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is a yearly collaborative effort between Dunellen, Greenbrook, Middlesex, Plainfield, Watchung, and Boundbrook through the Mayor's Alliance for a Cleaner Greenbrook Waterway. You can register to volunteer at lowerraritonwatershed.org. We look forward to seeing everybody there. It's a great event. Plus, you get to go splash around the water. What's more fun than that? Fire hydrant flushing. New Jersey American Water will be conducting its annual flushing of Dunellen's water distribution system until May 23rd from approximately 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Annual flushing is conducted by water providers throughout each municipality to test and maintain fire hydrants and the quality of drinking water. When crews are working in your area, you may notice a reduced pressure or discolored water. If your water is discolored, run the cold water taps only at the lowest level of the house for about 3 to 5 minutes until the water runs clear. If discolored water continues, please also refrain from doing laundry during that time. You can find more information and a map of the affected areas at amwater.com/NJAW/alerts. And I'm sure we'll be putting public notices out. Some of the American Water projects that are currently undergoing: Prospect Avenue and Whittier Avenue projects. There's so many, but they're investing millions of dollars. So we pay them utility bills. It's good that they're giving us back. The main water system has been installed on both Prospect Avenue and Whittier Avenue. The next step is to replace all residential water services from the main to the new water box for each home. New Jersey American Water will also install new fire hydrants on each street. Just for public knowledge too, our sewer utility and our engineers and everybody are doing spot checks throughout this entire process, right? Okay, good. I knew that. I just wanted public knowledge, just so everyone's aware. Grove Street and South Avenue Water Main Project. New Jersey American Water started working on this street this past week and will continue to do so. They will be digging test pits and beginning to cut the road for the main water replacement. Second Street Phase 1 Department of Transportation project and the Mill and Pave project from Dunellen Middlesex border to Madison Avenue. The project is scheduled to start this week, weather permitting. The first step will be removing and replacing severely damaged curbs and installing new ADA compliant sidewalk ramps, one at Schwartz Place intersection and the other at Sanford Avenue intersection. The contractor will inform the residents when they replace damaged curbs at their driveway entrances. During this time, the residents will not be able to drive in and out of their driveways for a few days, but I'm sure you won't mind because you'll have a brand new driveway apron. So that'll be nice. The RRFB projects, the Rapid Beacon Lights, Madison Avenue and First Street, Madison Avenue, Dunellen Ave, Washington Avenue and First Street, Washington and Dunellen Ave, which CME is conducting a study through the capital improvement bond that we did, South Washington Ave and Orange Street and Newmarket and Grove, which are being funded through a state local aid grant we received. They're expecting the projects to be completed by the fall after they've done some of the preliminary studies. CME is aware that the New Jersey American Water project on Grove Street and that intersection is time sensitive. So we are keeping track. Wayfinding signage. CME has reviewed the comments from the NJDOT. The highway occupancy permit application has also been submitted. Myself with CME, Derek White, our community development director, and Alex, you were in attendance? Oh, you passed. The one meeting you passed. You're at everywhere else, but not one. On April 28th to discuss their comments. Per the discussions during the meeting, we are preparing a response to their comments. I thought I reported out. If I didn't, I apologize. Initially, what happened is, just so we're all aware, this is a New Jersey Transit grant that we got, Transit Village grant, and the NJDOT came back and said, well, we can't direct people to our train station on the signage that they are funding through a Transit Village grant. So I just want to give kudos to Senator John Bramnick, because when I brought this to his attention, the hypocrisy of giving us a grant for wayfinding to find public parking and transit destinations, we can't direct people to our main transit destination, the train station. He got me directly involved, contacted to the director of NJDOT, and so we had a conversation. He got us in contact with some other people, and they think they might be able to accommodate our request if there's some creative ways we can make this work. So we did point out to them, it's Transit Village grant to direct, that's based upon us having a train station, and the goal was to let people know where the train station and public parking was. So there we are. So that's why that was the premise of that meeting. So we're hoping we get the appropriate response and one that, you know, makes sense. So I'll leave it there with a period. Okay. That's it for me this evening. Item number 10 is council discussion. There's nothing on the agenda this evening for that. Item number 11, department head reports. Legal?
Thank you, Mayor, no report.
Okay, clerk?
Just some
Oh, we got
information about election. To register to vote in New Jersey, just a reminder, you must be a United States citizen, at least 17 years of age, though you may not vote until you have reached the age of 18, and a resident of the county for 30 days before the election. The registration deadline to vote in the next election is 21 days prior to that election, which would be May 20th. And then May 28th is the mailing of sample ballots for the primary election.
But mail-in ballots have been issued, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the county has been working with your office to educate, publicly inform where the new voting destination, the polling stations are in town.
Correct.
Okay.
We sent out a letter to all affected residents. It's on the website. We put it on all of our email blasts. And then on election day, there will be signs posted at the school and a map directing people to their new polling place if they went there.
Okay. So senior center is 1 and 2?
I have to look, I don't have it
Sorry.
memorized. Give me a second.
I think District 5 is going to be at the firehouse and they currently go to the senior center. So we have to post at the senior center too.
Yeah, so we'll have a sign at each one of the polling locations along with the map.
Perfect. Okay. That's all we need now.
Okay.
Thank you, stats. We appreciate you handling that. That was a lot to take on over the last several weeks.
Yes.
Okay, IT?
No report, Mayor.
Okay, keep ITing. Mr. Miller, administration, superintendent of public works? Nothing?
All report.
Okay, finance department? You're just happy the budget, you're just happy the budget is over. Now you just gotta account for it over the next several months. Okay, Lieutenant, anything from the PD? Okay, rescue?
May is a busy month with a lot of appreciation, and EMS Appreciation Week, May 4th. This year's theme is We Care for the rescue squad volunteers. We are continuing to work with Borough through our relocation project. the property is on recreation on there. And, thank you.
We are aware that the week of the 18th is the EMS Appreciation Week, and as always, we'll have it at the council meeting on the 19th to recognize that week, just so you're aware. I just want you to be aware. So make sure you bring your team with you,
Will do.
okay? And we'll make sure Billy gets that proclamation done. Okay. Chaplain, anything from the fire department, from the chaplain's view? Okay, God bless you, my friend.
I have the districts. District 1 and 2 is the senior center, District 3 and 6 is the firehouse, and District 4 and 5 is the library.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. Maybe we just ever keep meeting until we just keep it just, so it's always on record on our end. Thank you. Item number 12 on the agenda is public comments. We asked that though, we're going to go with those in attendance in person, and then we'll go online. So, members of the public, here's your chance. Please state your name and address. The microphone's here. We'll start with those in the chambers first. Okay, it's all on you, Mr. Morgan. You're more than welcome to share. But anybody online that would like to state anything, please state your name and address. Okay, I'll do one last opportunity for both online and in person. We ask that you please state your name and address, ask your question, make your comments known. Without hearing any, we will close that portion of the meeting. We do not have an executive session this evening. So we have item number 13, adjournment. We have resolution 211, resolution of adjournment. Can I have a motion and second, please?
Move it, Albertson.
Second, Sigmund.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay. Our next council meeting is May 9th.